And as promised, I'm continuing this. Yeah, I mean, if I was shooting on the iPhone, I'd just kept shooting video, but I just noticed on the ONN phone that, or I don't like to call it ONN phone, the NUU phone, the new phone, Obamaphone number 2. I've just noticed that, like, once I get past 20 minutes of video, it's just very difficult to get it uploaded to a cloud and then downloaded to a phone that I can put it on YouTube. So needed to stop, needed to restart. I'm walking through the apartments that I was kind of entering when I ended the last video, and yeah, I peed on one of their walls because I don't know, there's just not a lot in the way of public restrooms. So I pee on walls. It is what it is. If there's anything that is male privilege, it's the fact that the world is my urinal. But if I was a woman, I'd have probably squatted by the wall because there's no public fucking restrooms. So 4:33 in the morning, Sunday, December 19th. Yeah, I got my other Obamaphone to let me know that. That's a little fucking clock widget. Oh, wow, that happened. I thought I could just walk through this apartment complex and go back out to 44th Street, but we got a fucking... I flashed that, and the blue light turns red. It doesn't open. There's a fucking gate here. That's stupid as shit. Oh, this truck is parked so fucking... Like, really? You gotta put your Escalade that close to the... Wow. Park his Escalade that fucking close to the wall. These fucking gates piss me off. Alright, well, at least there was a pedestrian gate I could get out. Hey, look, it didn't close. Alright, y'all suck for having your gates like that. Honestly, I feel a little guilty for leaving that open, but I don't know, fuck them. Urban Connected. The apartment complex is called Urban Connected. Connected, you're not connected when you put fucking gates in the way. Just saying. It's urban, not very connected. Let's hit the button. No, I don't think I get confirmation. Are we going to change the light? Come on, I hit a button. I want to see a light change. I ain't doing shit. My button's probably broke. So last night was crazy. I started my evening just basically not wanting to be around Priscilla. So did this crazy journey along the remnants of Randolph Drive. After I had left there, I walked further westbound over to 24th Street, and I was like, well, I'm kind of hungry. I should hit Taco Bell. And I walked over to the Taco Bell, and it wasn't late, mind you. It was like 7 p.m.-ish. You know, that's not late. It's not late. Walked over to the Taco Bell at 24th Street and Roosevelt, and got the same fucking treatment that I get from the Taco Bell over at Christown, which is a sign in the window that says, due to staffing shortages, dining room is closed, please use the drive-thru. And of course, if you're on foot, they will not serve you in the drive-thru, citing safety reasons. But they won't tell me what that safety reason is. I mean, I can't really say that. I didn't even try. I just saw that sign and just got frustrated and discouraged. Took a picture of it. I intend to do another Google Maps review and put them on blast for closing their dining room, and that being what I believe to be a ADA violation. Because if you've got a disability that prevents you from driving through the drive-thru, you can't get food at Taco Bell. On that note, the review I did like that about the one over in Christown has had a surprisingly large amount of views. I forget the number, but I regularly get email messages from Google telling me how many views that review has had, and then asking me to be, I don't know, like an ambassador or something, like, hey, post more reviews, post more pictures, contribute to Google Maps. I think my daughter Allison was telling me about how she started doing that and was getting some kind of perk from it. So I should maybe follow up and do it. All right, so this is new. This entrance here, I don't really know what... Oh, I do know what this is. So they're building like some kind of new residential development in the space just north of Loop 202, between 40th Street and 44th Street. And this is apparently going to be the east side entrance of it here that I'm walking through. And this is me showing more exploration of Phoenix that I do in the middle of the fucking night on a phone that doesn't do shit for shooting video at night. Yeah, you probably can't see anything, but there's a temporary fence here and I can't get through that, but at least there's going to be some kind of pedestrian access to this. I do remember seeing this plot of land mentioned in an article. God, it's like a decade ago. I don't even remember where it was. I don't know. Probably the New Times, or maybe the Phoenix. I don't know. I don't remember where I read it. Some local website or newspaper or whatever. But talking about like notable plots of land that were owned by either the city or the state that were not being developed. And that was one that was mentioned. And I'm dying to see what ends up going here, because like I don't see much here other than like a driveway that obviously you have to turn right out of, and you can't turn left into because it's that close to the freeway intersection of Loop 202. And it's got this particular curb form, which I fucking hate as a pedestrian, because the way this is designed, you can't just walk straight down the sidewalk. I mean, I guess you can, but if you're in a wheelchair, forget about it. You've got this curb, so you've got a curve over to this, and then walk across a distance from this road, and then walk back across. See, hard curb, no wheelchair ramp, back over to the sidewalk. A little extra distance for you in your wheelchair, or you in your walker if you're a little elderly, because obviously people in vehicles are way more important than people who are walking on the feet that God gave them, or are in the wheelchair that managed to make them mobile. Anyway, yeah, I remember reading about this plot of land being like a more notable piece of property that was undeveloped and still owned by, I want to believe, ADOT, possibly City of Phoenix, probably ADOT. And interesting, because, and this is funny. Here we've got it's still here too. Here we've got a recessed driveway. I don't even remember what business used to be there, but there's a driveway that doesn't go to anything because there's a wall there. And then here we have a drainage ditch and a gate that could be open. It looks like a driveway for service vehicles, like some kind of a little canal there on the north edge of the frontage to Loop 202. So when you go further west from here, like just off 44th Street, there's some really, really sketchy duplexes. I think they're duplexes. Sit just east of 40th Street, just north of the Loop 202. I want to say off Moreland. There's a couple different streets that go in that way. And yeah, I had a really interesting sexual encounter when I was probably, I want to say 21 years old, and in one of those duplexes that somebody, like, several days later tried to murder me over. And it was pretty fucking ridiculous. Just, I don't know, some chick that that I met, house party, I know it was a long time ago, but came on to me, and I didn't even have a vehicle then, so I ended up rolling with her, and she took me home to that duplex, and we did a nasty for several hours, and then I don't know, I don't really remember what happened. I go the next morning, did the nasty again, and probably took a bus home, to be honest. I don't even think she gave me a ride home. I think I took a bus home, and I don't think I ever saw her again. And then ran into some guy later who was like, "Oh, it was my girlfriend." I'm like, well, I don't think she was your girlfriend while I was fucking banging her out for 2 hours. But anyway, that kind of shit kills me. Like, would guys like get angry at some dude that was banging a girlfriend? No, don't get angry at the guy. You would have done that too. Like, do you think she told me she was your girlfriend? No, she didn't tell me. She didn't tell me she was your girlfriend. She told me she thought it was hot and wanted to get busy. Don't do nothing to you. The person you should be angry at is that bitch that was fucking you when she should have been, or was fucking me when she should have been fucking you. That's the person to be angry at. Don't be angry at me. I didn't do anything you wouldn't have done with a woman that you thought was single. Hello. Anyway, I don't even remember that woman's name. I don't know if I ever knew that woman's name. It's kind of funny, like, you know, the black pill part of YouTube, and guys talking about women's body counts and guys' body counts and stuff, and I would be really hard pressed to. Oh, okay, that is some great urban fucking graffiti right there. As much as I don't like to see stuff defaced, that gets a thumbs up for me. That's pretty awesome. That not so much, but I do like the two-tone thing going on. All that garbage behind it, not cool. Like, any hotel that charges what that place charges should be making an effort to clean up that garbage. Hope they don't paint over that crazy black and white face, though. I mean, it's a loot box. I like that. Anyway, yeah. Red pill part of YouTube. Guys talking about women and body counts and dudes and body counts and stuff. I would be really hard pressed to even state my own. Because I mean, at 51 years old, I think I can admit I'm kind of a slut. I like that. That's what I do when I can, whenever I can. Which, at 51 years old, isn't as much as I could when I was, say, 19. But it still happens. What's weird for me now, at 51 years old, and it definitely came into play tonight, is when I'm kicking back in a dive bar, just trying to drink some cheap beer and sing some karaoke, and I'm sitting with the girlfriend that never wants to give it up anymore, and then I'm kind of counting the people that are coming to the bar. I'm like, all right, how many people in this bar at this point in time have I slept with in the past? Oh, Lord, it's kind of a high number tonight. Damn. Yeah. So last night the number was 3, which isn't that high of a number, but but 3, and obviously, like, with Priscilla, it hasn't been that long, but the other 2, it's been well over a decade, and it's kind of weird, because the one gal is, at this point, like, she's elderly. She looks elderly. She didn't when we hooked up. I want to make that very clear. Like, when we hooked up, she was, she was older than me. I was, I don't know, like mid-30s. You know, I was like in my mid-30s, and she was, 40-something, probably mid-40s. She's probably a decade older than me. Whatever. She's like in her mid-40s. She was a little on the heavy side, but she looked good in her mid-40s. So that was it. I very distinctly remember the first time that happened, and it was that was a good night for me. I'm out fucking, doing karaoke because that's what I do. And I was already a karaoke host at the time, and sometimes I was looking for gigs, and other times I was just looking for a place to have a good time and sing and maybe get lucky. And I got lucky that night, but not like I expected to. And I do believe at that point in time I didn't have a vehicle, so I was being very cognizant of like what time, even though I lived in Tempe, I was being very cognizant of like what time I needed to bounce to catch the last bus, and I told the karaoke host that. I was like, hey, I gotta. And she's like, no, you can stay longer than that. I'm like, really? I said, really? Are you gonna take me home? She's like, yeah, I'm taking you home. I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, I'm taking you home. I'm taking you home, keeping you tonight. I'm like, oh, okay, good times. And it was good times. Anyway, so I saw her tonight, and that was, I don't know, her and I have an interesting relationship at this point, and there's absolutely, like, nothing sexual between her and I anymore, and there hasn't been for well over a decade, but when I see her, I'm always glad to see her. She always seems glad to see me, We talk shop a little bit, because she so does karaoke sometimes, and I'm not sure if Priscilla knows about her or not. I feel like she does. I don't know if she knows about me or from someone else, but yeah. And of course that woman has got a boyfriend that she's had for several years who also comes to my karaoke shows, and is usually pretty cool with me when I talk to him. And I don't think he knows that he and his girlfriend have a past, way in the past, or not. But it's weird. When you get to my age, it's there's, what's in your past? Shit, I got 50 plus years of past. Let's talk about past. It's hard for me to, what's in your past? Shit, I have trouble remembering what's in my past. Yeah. So ran into somebody else today at Wander Inn that from my past, from way in my past. I think that happened, I want to say, God, 95, 96? Way in my past. And that's, I think, all I want to say on that subject. But it's a small world, and when you live in the city as long as I've lived in here, and are as promiscuous as I am, you're bound to run into people from your past. And really, right now, I could use a little fun with a flash from the past, because the present isn't interested in me like that anymore. It's kind of funny. She's all flirty. She's all there's a lot of PDOP at the bar. But yeah, as soon as we get home, she's fully clothed on the couch. Wants nothing to do with me when we get home. Which is why at whatever the hell time it is, I want to feel it's almost 5 now. Hang on, I'm gonna pull out the other Obamaphone to see what time it is. Jesus, it's fucking cold out here. Yeah, 4:51 a.m. That's why at 4:51 a.m. I'm walking southbound on 44th Street near Van Buren. when I finally got, sorry, just keep wanting to mention the Randolph Road. Nobody cares about Randolph Road, just me. But I noticed when I got, so I walked, after my little video about Randolph Road, I was walking westbound in Portland, and there's one of the, sometimes I mention YouTube channels, that I go to a lot of the city planning YouTube channels, which are, all of them are so anti-car. And to be honest, I'm not anti-car. Like, I seem pretty anti-car these days. I'm just angry I don't have one, honestly. If we're going to be honest. I'm not anti-car. I'm just angry I don't fucking have one right now. And I'm frustrated at how bad pedestrian infrastructure is, how bad public transit is. But I'm make no mistake, I'm not anti-car. Anyway, and another 20 minutes, I've made it another mile. I'm gonna have to wrap this video up, or I'm gonna have trouble uploading it. Anyway, one of the YouTubers that I follow, who probably has no idea I exist, even though I leave all kinds of comments on his channel, is City Beautiful. And I think that guy's a college professor, which is funny because he looks like a kid to me, and I know he has kids of his own. But when you get to 50, like, adults have kids look like kids to you. It just is what it is. Anyway, don't know his name, but he's got a great YouTube channel. Not dissing him at all. City Beautiful is a great YouTube channel. Check it out. Subscribe to him. I'm not hating on him. I want to make that very clear. I'm not hating on City Beautiful, but he is very much anti-car. And his last video, which I thoroughly enjoyed, by the way, was about corner stores. And I think the comment I left on it was pretty snarky. I'm like, oh, I have a corner store in my neighborhood. It's called QT, which is featured in my vlogs all the time. I featured in the last video. Shows you how they got rid of their tables because homeless people sat at them. But anyways, talking about corner stores. And the funny thing is, when I was on my walk, and I almost shot a video, and I did post a snap from there of the remnants of the phone booth, was a corner store that totally fit his description of corner stores, as opposed to my snarky comment of corner stores of, QT or 7-Eleven, Circle K. I don't think that's what City Beautiful was talking about. But I did see a corner store, and he's talking about little neighborhood, grocery general stores located within residential neighborhoods, which there's not many in Phoenix. I want to say there weren't any in Phoenix, but I randomly ran into one today. And I want to say it's, oh my God, it had a Spanish name. I can't even pronounce it. But yeah, there's a little corner store located on the southwest corner of 26th Street in Portland. And those are two residential streets. Like, neither of those are in any shape, way, or form a through street. And, oh, look, the light rail is running. Nice. I could have sworn when I looked at the schedule it wasn't running yet, but it is, which is good, because I just want to be sitting on a train and not at home being frustrated because Priscilla's fully clothed on the couch and doesn't want to get in bed with me. So I missed that train. I'll catch the next one. Anyway, so there's this corner store there, but it's not the idealistic corner store that City Beautiful described. I didn't go in it. And honestly, I didn't go in it because it just looked sketchy as fuck to me. Like, I was kind of wanting to go into some kind of a corner store and get some groceries with my EBT card because I was hungry. But that place just struck me as so completely sketchy that A, I expected they probably wouldn't take EBT, and B, if they did, I expected their prices to be so jacked up that I really didn't want to waste my EBT dollars on it. And honestly, like, what I was thinking of is one of my favorite movies, and I'm sure I've mentioned this on more than one occasion, is Falling Down, starring Michael Douglas from like the early 90s. And there's a scene where he's in a really bad neighborhood in LA, and he walks into a corner store and gets in an argument with a proprietor who has a really strong Asian accent. And he wants to buy a soda. He wants to buy a can of Pepsi, probably, something like that. Michael Douglas, the main character. Defends, I think is his character name. And he wants to buy that, and back then, like, the going rate for a can of soda was 50 cents. No, it's supposed to say wait, and it says, instead of saying wait, it burps. That's awesome. Anyway, so the clerk in that store is like 58 cents, which is more than 50 cents. And the guy just has like 2 quarters he wants to spend on that, and gets really frustrated about it. And anyway, so, and he gets all kind of pissed off at the person in that little corner store, and proceeds to the guy comes at him. The guy in the store like gets upset because he tells him his prices are out of line, and comes at him with a baseball bat, and he snags the baseball bat from him, and then proceeds to trash the store with the baseball bat. And God, I love that scene. But that's what that store reminded me of. And on the outside, like, it's hard to even see the store because the entire outside of the building is like wallpapered with basically booze, like beer and liquor deals, like things from booze distributors. It was kind of hard to, like, there was so much of that, it was kind of hard to see the the store underneath it. But yeah, I didn't go inside. But yeah, that's a corner store. That's a neighborhood store. Yeah, I'm sure the only people that shop there are people that live in that shitty little neighborhood that absolutely don't have a vehicle and can't really be bothered to go any farther, and probably all they buy from there is beer and liquor and maybe rolling papers. Anyway, geez, 26 minutes. I kind of want to talk about where I'm standing here, but I think I should do that on another video because I'm over 20 minutes. I'm going to have a hell of a time uploading this.